Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another grocery haul and meal plan video. I will pop on here in just a second, tell you my meal plan, show you the things from my pantry that inspired my meal plan this week and what I will be making, and I'll have all the links down below in the description box. Really did not need a lot as usual, trying to keep it down and just using things up. So mainly just needed produce. I did go to Costco to get a few things, and then the rest is coming from Fred Meyer or Kroger. So I did get bananas at Costco because that's like the best deal for sure. Some apples for snacking. I needed tomatoes for a couple of the different recipes this week. Cilantro will be for some tostadas I'm making. I am planning on making my own hummus this week. I had a couple of you share your recipes with me. So I have that actually coming in a Thrive Market haul. I had a couple of people use my code through Thrive Market and make their own account. So I have $80 I need to use up within the next week or so. So I'm going to be making a Thrive Market order. So you'll see a separate video for that. But in that I ordered some garbanzo beans so I can make my own hummus. So stay tuned for that. I'll just make it in one of my daily videos or something. So I needed celery for a soup, and then the rest of it I'll have for that hummus. Green onions. Kale is for a chicken pasta salad that I saw, so picked up some of that. Green beans is going to be for the soup I'll be making. The bell peppers, I know I needed some for a sausage pasta dish, and the others I'm not sure. I think there was a couple different recipes I needed that for. They've been out of stock of these baby cucumbers, and they finally had some in, so I picked this up to go with that hummus. Carrots for the soup, and of course I have with the hummus. Same with the cucumber. From Costco, I picked up some of their artisan romaine. I love this stuff, and you can really make it last a long time by taking this out of this package and individually wrapping each one in paper towels and then just sticking it into a Ziploc bag. They'll last for several weeks that way. I want to test a recipe for Thanksgiving, so I picked up some Brussels sprouts. We'll see how that recipe turns out. Tostadas, I'm going to do some tostadas and then for dinner one night, and then the other day I'm going to use these for like a crunch wrap recipe for one of my lunches. For the soup, I picked up some of the vegetable broth from Imagine. I do like to just keep some lunch meat on hand in case I just want to make a quick wrap or something. So I did get the Applegate Black Forest uncured ham. I had a really good coupon on this and it was on sale. I was out of olive oil, so I just picked up some extra virgin olive oil. I will be doing some breakfast sandwiches and some breakfast burritos, and I want to use egg whites to kind of pump up the protein. I told you guys I was trying to increase my protein this week. One thing I forgot to show you guys last week is I ordered this Nuts and More from Amazon. This is the salted caramel. I had some credits to use up on Amazon, so I've been wanting to try this, and this stuff is really good. Here's all the macros on it. I believe it's 5 points for 2 tablespoons. Honestly, I've been putting it like in yogurt, and I don't even use the full 2 tablespoons all the time. Same with oatmeal. I've been using just a tablespoon, which has been plenty, but this salted caramel one is really good. So I'm definitely going to pick up another flavor. Needed some Mexican blend cheese for the tostadas, and I think for one other recipe. I just picked up some of the vanilla Greek yogurt. Again, that way I can put with some of the Nuts and More with it, or just put some granola, or just to eat it on its own. And then from Costco, I picked up some chicken tenderloins. I'm just going to use this for whatever chicken recipes I have. I like to get the tenderloins just because I do a lot of things where I need to chop up the chicken, so it just makes it a lot easier. But I think I have 1 package of chicken left, and then I was going to be out, so glad I picked that up. Okay, so I'm going to pop on here next. I'm going to show you all the things that I pulled out of my pantry that inspired my meal plan, and then I will tell you my meal plan. Let's go into the meal plan, and I'm going to pop up here as I talk about each thing I chose, the things I pulled out of my pantry, which this week I feel like I'm really getting a hang of this, pulling out of my pantry. And I'm going to be a little disappointed when I am done really going through a lot of the pantry items, because I feel like it's just been so fun pulling things out of there and just really kind of reaching for what can I make out of this. And sometimes it's just the simplest things, and sometimes I just go into Pinterest and just throw in the rest of the ingredients, and I'll just put them in the search bar. I'll just put in whatever ingredients that I have and just hit search. And that's how some of these things have popped up. And it's just been really fun. So I will be a little disappointed when I am done going through everything in my pantry. I should have showed you guys a before and after, but I'll show you an after, and I mean, just imagine it full. But anyway, you guys have seen all the things that I've been using. So first up for breakfast, I did recognize these last couple of weeks that I have not really been prepping breakfast type things, that it has been, I've just been choosing not to eat breakfast. And I think that's been one of the reasons why I've not been hitting my macro goals with protein or my calories. So I looked at what I had, and so for the breakfast burritos, of course I had the wraps already. I had some black beans. I have like a half of a bell pepper left over, which I did not pull that out of the refrigerator, but I ended up buying more anyway. I had the eggs, and I have some salsa. So one thing I like to do, you guys know I buy mostly fresh salsa because I just prefer that. And this La Mexicana brand, you can get at your Kroger stores or Fred Meyer, whatever your Kroger stores are. I love this salsa, and it's just so fresh tasting, and it has a really nice shelf life. And you guys, if you are not buying fresh salsa versus like the canned salsa, you don't even know what you're missing. Like, you just get that, like those fresh like cilantro flavors and the lime flavor, and it's just so good. So what I like to do with breakfast burritos is I will put a little bit of the salsa on the inside, and then I like to kind of dip it in the salsa. So what I'll do is I'll meal prep these breakfast burritos. I'll put them, wrap them up, and I'm not going to cook them or anything. And then the day that I have them, I'll throw them in my air fryer. But I had like I said, I had the wraps, the black beans, the peppers, the eggs, and the salsa all on hand. For the breakfast sandwiches, you may remember they had a buy one get one free on the Thomas English muffins a couple weeks back. So I did buy 2 of them, and I put I bought one of the multigrain light and one of the sourdough, and I took 3 of the multigrain light and 3 of the sourdough, put them into the freezer, and then I have had the other ones out, and I just have not eaten all of them. So I'm gonna make some breakfast sandwiches, and I'm not gonna make a whole bunch. I think I'm just gonna make like 2 breakfast burritos and 2 breakfast sandwiches. Or maybe 3. I think I like the breakfast burritos better. Like, that's one of my favorite things. So I may do 3 of the breakfast burritos and 2 of the breakfast sandwiches. But for the breakfast sandwiches, I had the Canadian bacon in the freezer. So I knew I wanted to use that up. I had got it at Costco quite a while ago, so I need to use it up. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably use some of them for the breakfast sandwiches, and then I think I'll just like fry some of them up and just with like Canadian bacon and eggs or something another day. And then I can also make some, like maybe some English muffin pizzas or something as well with that Canadian bacon. It'll last a couple weeks after I have it open. But I had the English muffins, the eggs, and the Canadian bacon already. So and the cheese, I had some cheese left over from a recipe that I made a few weeks ago, and so I'll just use up that cheese. And I know it's like a little bit higher calorie, higher point cheese. And with the new program starting next week, it'll be interesting to see. I'll probably be going over points with some of this stuff because I am using up things and not keeping that new plan in mind. But there's not much I can do about that right now. You guys know I'm just on an extreme budget, so we'll just do the best we can. But I'm just using up so many things, and it's really exciting. Now, one of those things, this next recipe, so those are breakfast. These rest of these things will be for lunches and dinners. You guys know I just kind of do it just whatever I feel like I just grab for either lunch or dinner. And this came up on Pinterest when I put in some of these ingredients. So this is a kale chicken pasta salad, which you can actually meal prep. You just put the dressing off the side, and the dressing is like a balsamic vinaigrette dressing. But on hand, I put chicken here because I did have some chicken in my freezer, but I also picked up chicken at Costco. But for all of these, I did have some chicken in my freezer. But I had the pasta, sunflower seeds, the reduced sugar craisins, and balsamic vinegar. So what I put into my Pinterest, I just put in pasta, sunflower seeds, craisins, just to see what came up. And this kale chicken pasta salad meal prep came up. And kale, if you guys don't know, is a really good thing to use for meal prep because it does last. And I actually could put the dressing probably on this, and it probably wouldn't do anything. This recipe may have also called for feta cheese, but you guys know I'm not a huge fan of feta cheese. Plus, I don't think I'll be missing it because I can like give or take cheese. Like it's not really that big of a deal. So, but I do think that this recipe may have called for that, but it just sounded really, really good and really fresh. The other thing, so I had some sausage, some pasta, and some crushed tomatoes on hand. So I put all of those into Pinterest, and it came up with this one pot sausage pasta, which only thing I need to add to that are the bell peppers. Like, and that's it. Like I have everything. And I believe actually the recipe called for diced tomatoes, but there's not a lot of difference between crushed tomatoes and diced tomatoes. It might just be a little bit saucier, but that's okay. And I've been wanting to use up these sausages again because they're not like the most, they're like 150 calories for one sausage, and they're probably like 5 points. So I want to use these things up for sure before I start thinking about the new plan and stuff. The other thing, the chicken bacon ranch crunch wrap, and actually kind of had these out of order because I was thinking tostadas first. I had a can of fat-free refried beans, have the chicken, have that salsa, and I thought tostadas. So I just needed to pick up tostada shells, and I knew I would be picking up lettuce at Costco. So that was literally like the only thing I needed for this. And again, I love to use the fresh salsa on things like tostadas. Like it is so much better than using just regular like canned jarred salsa. And then I do have some like taco sauce I can put on top of this as well. But then I thought, what am I gonna do with all those tostada shells? And that's what made me think of the chicken bacon ranch crunch wrap. I have made a version of this before. And again, already in my hand, I had the tortillas. I have some bacon in my refrigerator. I have some ranch in my refrigerator I need to use up this week. And then I can use those tostadas that I'm not gonna use for my, the night that I have tostadas, I can use that for the crunch wrap. It's just finding recipes, finding ingredients that you can use across your meal plan is such a budget saver. And then to kind of top it all off, really has nothing to do with anything in my pantry except for the pasta. I'm gonna just make some basic chicken noodle soup. I've just been craving chicken noodle soup. And I think it's just because it's been rainy and stormy and cold here, foggy. To me, it's just chicken noodle soup has sounded so good. So super basic. I'll be making it in a meal prep. Nothing fancy, but I will be using up some of that pasta. I'm not gonna use the typical like egg noodles. It'll be whatever noodles I have in my pantry, which seems to be mostly rotini. So I'm gonna throw some of that in there and make myself a really simple chicken noodle soup. Now there are some ingredients that I pulled out that I did not end up using, but I did pull these out and just as more inspiration. So I wanted to show those to you as well, just because you can see kind of where my thought process was. So I had a jar of pizza sauce, which I didn't even know I had, because you guys know I'm not like a huge fan of pizza sauce. And I'm thinking I picked this up because it was on sale and I had a particular recipe in mind that I ended up not making. So I had a jar of pizza sauce, I had a jar of Great Northern beans, some barbecue sauce, sugar-free barbecue sauce, and the buffalo sauce. So I had pulled those out too with the rest of these things, and I just never came up with recipes for those. So next week we will come up with something for those. So that is my meal plan. That is my thought process around my meal plan. Let me know down in the comment section. I know a ton of you have been talking about using things out of your pantry, and this has been inspiring you. What kind of things have you been pulling out of your pantry that you are turning into meals? Has this been helpful for you guys, seeing my thought process around this and me pulling things out? Hopefully it is inspiring you to do the same. Let's clear those cabinets out before the new year. Use all this stuff up over these next couple of months and then start fresh for the new year. That is my plan. And I'll see you guys in a meal prep. For meal prep, we're gonna see breakfast burritos, breakfast sandwiches. I'll probably make that kale chicken pasta salad. I think I'll make the one pot sausage pasta and the chicken noodle soup. It'll be a very, we'll see if I end up making all of that stuff, but it would be super nice to already have all that made, because then I don't have to do anything when I get off work, and I can get my workouts done and I can feel like everything is already ready, and all of the stuff can keep all week, which is nice. I may even make like the salsa chicken I plan on making for the tostadas. So I may even do that. I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, that is my meal plan. That is my meal prep plan. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.